Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and today I am joined by...
Blob.
Yes. Today is Moon's Day, also known as Monday, December 5th, 2022. So, let's jump into the history, shall we? Would you care to start us off, good sir?
Alright. And we start with a very famous ancient philosopher and writer. That is Cicero. He, in 63 BC, has read the last of his Catiline orations.
Ah, Cicero. Yeah, I know that name. So.
Catiline. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Catiline, I believe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And in 771, we have Charlemagne. He becomes the sole king of the Franks after the death of his brother Carloman.
Ah.
And Holy Roman Empire later. Or maybe he already was, I don't know.
I see you posted a link here as well in Michael's channel. So you're related to Charlemagne, you and every other living European. So is that like everybody in Europe is related to Charlemagne in some way?
Most likely, because he, he was the king of the Franks, the Holy Roman Emperor. And you have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, and so on. But how many people were there back in the day?
Yeah, so you're saying that he sired a lot of children? Like, was he Europe's version of Genghis Khan, is what you're saying?
Oh, it's very likely, according to those ancestry services like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA, that many people are related to Charlemagne.
That's interesting. I'm going to have to look into that. So, but you got one here at 1349, and I have something to say about this.
All right. We go to a very dark history. The Black Death, also known as the Pest. In 1349, 500 Jews of Nuremberg, they were massacred during the Black Death riots.
Yeah, a lot of people were... Sorry, go ahead.
And there's also a painting from 4 years later that shows victims of the Black Death.
Yeah. The bubonic plague, the Black Death, was like, a massive, historical event, as we all know. And a lot of people, the reason why this happened is because a lot of people were blaming Jews, out of ignorance. And, so...
They didn't know better because they didn't have modern virology yet.
Well, even with or without that, there has been a bigotry, towards this, that, and the other throughout all of time. There always has been. There probably always will be, in one degree or another. But the 500 Jews here were killed out of complete and total ignorance and hatred. Everybody was blaming Jews, and this was during a time of the Crusades. So there was everybody was Christian, and all that stuff, and everybody wanted Jerusalem. So there's a lot of factors in this that really drove people up a wall, So
anti-Semitism is as old as history itself.
It is. Well, anti-Semitism has nothing to do with Jews. Being anti-Semitic is being against Shem, which is not affiliated with Jews. So it's just yet another word that it's been twisted throughout the annals of time. And it doesn't mean what we think it means. So, but anyway, I'm going to move us on up to 1492 here. Christopher Columbus discovered Hispaniola, or El Espanola, or Haiti. So he discovered Haiti. Mm-hmm. And I see we have been joined by
the Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show, and we also have Noah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say lamb chop this time though.
Oh,
I'm too
God.
tired. I'm
Lamb
too tired.
chop.
Okay, you did it for me. Thank you.
Yep.
I was just putting on some different clothing because I was trying
Clothing
to
is
sleep
good.
earlier.
Clothing keeps the people warm. You know, like. So.
I wasn't wearing any pants because I was trying to sleep. But like,
Well, I
now
mean,
I
I
am.
don't. I don't wear pants in the bed either. But like, you know, that's
Like,
just me.
dude, who does? Who does?
Um,
Yeah, I was just trying to fall asleep. I couldn't fall asleep. I'm here.
All right,
That was
well,
3 hours ago.
Well, dang. Well, anyway, 1623, the first copies purchased of William Shakespeare's first folio, collecting his plays posthumously into one volume, bought by Edward Deering. Ooh, that's interesting.
Do we know anything about Edward Deering besides that?
Nope.
Does anyone know anything about that? I'm just curious because it would make for like a fun fact kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you know, this is why I have many different people on the show, because I don't know who can bring what to the table, and it's always exciting.
I think my friend that I had talking with you earlier would actually know something about that. He likes a lot of Shakespearean stuff.
Yeah, I need to reread all the stuff that we were talking about earlier. I was just not like woken up enough to like, you know, I literally had like gotten out of bed 15 minutes earlier, and all this information was just like I need to wake up. But yeah, no, like I really appreciate
I
that.
still have my hand on my chin, kind of like that's how tired I am. I've been awake the whole night since 9 p.m. I woke up at 9 p.m. last night.
Yeah, you look like you need to go back to bed. No.
I need to shave. I need to fucking shave.
Yeah. Well, I need to clean up too a little bit.
Forgive the profanity. I don't know if your viewers care or if you're monetizing. I don't
Watch
think
the
you are.
profanity. Like, remember
Yeah.
that meme? Watch your profanity. So.
Are you monetizing any of this? Because you can't do that if I'm going to curse.
No, not yet. We're working on getting
okay.
fan base, but I'm going to move on up here to in the year 1717. English pirate Blackbeard ransacked the merchant sloop Margaret and kept her captain, Henry Bostock, prisoner for 8 hours before releasing him. Bostock later provided the first record of Blackbeard's appearance and the source for his name. So,
You know his real name was Edward Teach. Like,
yes, that is correct.
Teach, yeah.
Edward
Yeah,
Teach
I had to
or
look
Edward
it up.
Thatch.
Oh yeah, or
Yeah.
Edward Thatch. I had to look it up just now because Teach
Well, I just
is
did.
better known as Blackbeard. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have it up right here on my screen. Edward Teach or
Right,
Edward
right,
Thatch.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they know which one it actually was, or was it like both?
I would go with Teach
Uh-huh.
because this is the first time I've ever heard the Thatch part. So,
Well, I've heard Thatch, but I think it was from my friend Jonathan. You don't know him, but he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
well, I might get to know him later on in the future. Who knows? Like, and
He doesn't really join servers.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, moving back up to Blob here. It's your turn, 1775.
Alright, but first information. Edward Deering, who bought the Shakespeare first folio, he was a very famous antiquarian at the time, it seems.
Oh, okay.
He was an anti-what?
Hi. What? Antiquarian, did you say? What is that? Hi.
Someone who buys old things.
Oh, and antique.
Oh, antiques.
Yeah.
Okay, antiques.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, that I didn't catch on
Yeah.
at first. Yeah.
And
In
I did want to
17
go ahead.
In 1775, at Fort Ticonderoga, however you pronounce that, Henry Knox begins his historic transport of artillery to Cambridge, Massachusetts.
The Henry Knox. I think that's the guy that Fort Knox is named after.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Hold on a second. Let's see.
Yeah,
here.
I think we talked about him recently, yes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Fort Knox.
He was-
name.
He was Continental Army and U.S. Army General, U.S. Secretary of War, and also a founding father of the United States.
Mm-hmm. And I just looked it up. I'm confirming Major General Henry Knox was the guy that Fort Knox got his namesake after. So, and Fort Knox, not to be confused with the Federal Reserve, which is on Fort Knox. That is not Fort Knox. Fort Knox is the military base that surrounds the entire facility.
Correct.
So yeah.
And
Yeah.
as he was the first Secretary of War, it makes sense that he founded it.
Yep.
And we have another founding father. In 1792, George Washington is re-elected as U.S. President. the first in the hearts of his countrymen.
Oh, is that today? Holy shit!
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's
on this day.
he was
Re-elected, though.
re-elected. Oh, it was December. It wasn't November. Okay.
Yeah, no, the whole November election thing actually happened like sometime in the late 40s, sometime 50s maybe. It's fairly recent when you think about it because of FDR. Because FDR had 4 consecutive terms, and because of him, we rewrit that section of whatever document involving the presidency we have, limiting it to only 2 terms. And while we were doing that, we moved election season from like January to November.
Yeah, I all I know is that you get elected in November now, and you get inaugurated in January.
Yeah.
And that's good that I brought that up, because that was a nice fact that I did not know about FDR. I don't remember anymore, I mean.
Yeah.
At least I used to know in school, you know.
Doom Guy, I see
ago.
you joined the show. Welcome, welcome, and it is your turn if you so wish in 1804.
Alrighty.
I'm going to grab a drink.
Do it.
Hang on, am I unmuted? Okay, yeah, I'm unmuted. Alright, cool. In 1804, Thomas Jefferson is reelected U.S. President. George Clinton is the Vice President.
Oh, no. Clinton? Uh-oh.
Oh, no, not the Clintons.
I didn't know he was that old.
I didn't know Bill was that old. What the heck?
Well, he looks it.
He's so old he had to change his identity name.
Yeah.
He had to change his legal name twice.
Yep.
He was also the governor of New York.
Ah.
I mean, George Clinton.
It sounds like Doom is eating cereal.
I was eating eggs.
Ah.
Also, I got oats. I busted out the oat.
Nice. Oats.
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 In 1830, Hector Berlioz' program, Symphonie Fantastique, premieres at the Paris Conservatory.
Ah.
Or, well, the Conservatoire.
All right. And then, uno mas. Who'd we lose?
In 1832, Andrew Jackson is reelected as the U.S. president after defeating Henry Clay.
Ah. Heard about Henry Clay.
Do you know they had to reset how many times you can run for office because of Henry Clay?
Huh. Tell me about this. What did Henry Clay do?
He ran for office maybe like 4 or 5 times. He failed all 4 times. He never got in.
So you're limited to how many times you can run?
I think he was the cause of it. I think you can, because you can only run twice.
How
now
many
you can
times
twice.
can you run for president?
I don't think there's any.
It should be 2.
Well, no, you're talking about terms. You're talking about active terms.
Yeah.
No, they did that because of FDR, because he ran 4 times. That's
Well, yeah.
but
Well,
no.
yeah.
There's a difference between active serving terms and actually running. Like, is there a limit to actually running for president? Not actually getting elected, but running.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, there is. He was the cause of that.
Oh, I had no idea about that.
There was the loophole with that when FDR was in is that it had to be through active terms that he could run again. I think that was the whole thing behind that.
I've never heard anything about that, and I'm not finding, because I'm searching on Google how many times can you run for president, and it's telling me about active office. So
yeah, it's for not active office. It's twice. You can only go 2 times now.
well, active
Like in the
office that
current
was
day,
done,
you
as I said, because of FDR. But you're talking about Henry Clay being the reason why you're limited to the amount of times you can actually try, and that's making no sense. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but he's also.
He's also what?
He's best known for the Great Compromise. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Great Compromise.
Yeah, the Great Compromise.
It sounds familiar, but let's see here.
I want to say he wrote.
Yeah, the Kinetic Compromise was an agreement reached during the Constitutional Convention of 1787 that in part defined the legislative structure and representation each state would have under the U.S. Constitution. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Yep. That's the.
All right. Well, I'm gonna add that link into the underbar here for further reading for our audience if they do so wish. Huh. Well, there's.
I don't know if you know Harold Stassen.
No.
Mm-mm.
He ran so many times that his candidacy became a joke.
Huh. Well,
at least that's what I'm reading here.
Well, here's the thing. There's this guy named Vermin Supreme, and I know he's run for presidency more than 4 times. Like, he's been on local ballots, like, in wherever he's at, like Connecticut or something. I don't know where he's at, where he's based out of. But no, he's run more than 4 times. Or, like, I don't know. Like, I've never heard of what you're talking about, Doom. So if you can find a link for me, that'd be fantastic. Whenever, no rush, But
Yeah.
anyway, let's move on up here. You have one more, right, Doom? Or you have 2 more?
Well, no, I have one more.
Okay.
Alrighty. Appointment of interest in 1847, Jefferson Davis is appointed to fill vacant U.S. Senate seat for Mississippi.
Ah. Huh. And then he went on to become the president of the Confederate States of America. And for whatever reason, posthumously at least, I believe, we reinstated his U.S. citizenship, which is weird, Like, if he didn't want to be part of the U.S. that bad, let him not be part of the U.S. So, ooh, here we go. 1848, discovery of gold in California. U.S. President James K. Polk triggered the gold rush of 1849 by confirming gold discovery in California. I wonder if that's a... we talked about Sutter's Mill a couple months ago.
It is not the Knox that Fort Knox was named after. That was the other Knox that we talked about earlier.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Henry Knox?
Henry Knox was the one that Fort Knox was named after.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah, not President James Knox Polk.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't James Knox Polk. No, we figured that out yesterday.
Yes, so I just wanted to repeat that because of the gold discovery.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay, yeah, I didn't even see that connection right there. Yeah, no, James Knox Polk is not the namesake of Fort Knox. You are correct. No, but that, you know what? That's kind of ironic, I guess, because Fort Knox holds gold, and James Knox Polk, announced the discovery of gold in California, which started the Great Gold Rush. Yeah. Huh. That is a little interesting, nugget of history.
I see what you did there.
Moving on up into 1859, Don Bucciolesat's play Octoroon premiered in New York City. Octoroon. Octoroon. Is that like a mangaroon but with 8? I don't know. Bad jokes. Anyway, 1892, John Thompson became the 4th Prime Minister of Canada. All right. And then now I believe it's Blood's turn.
All right. In 1896, Henrik Ibsen's play Kaiser og Galileer, The Emperor and Galilean, premieres in Leipzig. So I think that's Danish or some language from Northern Europe.
Norwegian, I believe. Because Henrik Ibsen is from Norway, so maybe it's Norwegian language or whatever language they use. Look at those mutton chops,
they use
though,
Norwegian.
man.
So the city of Ulm is around 40 kilometers from where I was born, and we have a personality from that city. In 1932, German physicist Albert Einstein was granted a visa to enter America.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And there's also a famous murder case involving the Einstein family. That is.
Wait, there is?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
the cousin, I think, of Albert Einstein and his family were killed by the Nazis. 1940 something, and it is still unsolved. We will put a link up to that for interested readers.
Yes, please.
Does anyone know anything about the Black Dahlia murder? That's an interesting case. Also, that never got
Heard
solved.
of it.
I think
Yeah.
never got solved.
Yeah.
It's
There's
the
a lot
one
of
where
those.
that woman was laid bare in the street, in the sidewalk, and her body was just cut in half.
Yeah. That's
I think they call it there's a special word for that now. They invented because of this case. It's called having a hemicorpectomy. That's the medical term that I remember hearing.
what?
I don't know. It's when they cut her body sideways in half,
Huh?
down the middle of her waist. She was just sawed in 2 pieces, surgically sawed, very precise.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was some serial killer that never got caught.
Yeah.
And she was painting on her lips for blood, and it's really gross.
What is this Edward Daring thing that you posted, Blob?
That was about the antiquarian who bought the William Shakespeare book.
Oh, that's right, the Antiquarian. Okay, I get it. Where's my? Oh, it's over here. Okay, I'm gonna add that link in the underbar as well. Thank you. You're really good with the links, dude. Dad and I were talking about you last night, Blob. You are amazing on the show, and I really appreciate your involvement. So, but you have another one here in 1933.
Yeah, and we have some constitutional amendments.
Yeah, the 21st, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I'm looking at it on another place on the web right now. I'm finding more that I can put up here.
The 21st Amendment to the US Constitution was ratified and the 18th Amendment repealed, and this ended the prohibition and led to the rise of Al Capone.
Yep. Well, no, it
I'm
didn't.
gonna post a few things.
It didn't lead. That didn't lead to the rise of Al Capone. Prohibition led to the rise of Al Capone. They repealed.
Isn't that what he said?
What?
Isn't that what he just said? He mentioned prohibition. I heard it.
Well, I think he said that this is what led to the rise of Al Capone because he was just reading.
Okay.
He was just reading from the thing. It seems like I may have misheard him, but
No, I was wrong about that.
Okay, I have a lot of good examples of on this day from. It's in my list.
let me check this out here.
Regarding prohibition.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
I see.
Prohibition was also the cause of a sport. It was also the cause of NASCAR due to the whole because they were running moonshine through the Appalachians.
Is that really how it happened?
Yes,
Wow.
it is. The rum runners, they actually.
If it weren't for them, if it weren't for the government, NASCAR wouldn't have ever existed.
Yes.
I'm not much of a sports junkie, but I wouldn't have known that either way.
Well,
probably.
to educate you and potentially any other viewers about that, because we have spoken about this before several times on the show, but yes, Doom Guy here is right. The rum runners, all the people who are moving all the illegal alcohol, the moonshine, the green alcohol, all that stuff. To all the speakeasies and whatnot from the hills, they had competitions to try to see who was the fastest car, and that evolved into NASCAR. So it was an invention of prohibition. So, yep.
Yeah, and and it formed into one of the biggest sports in the world.
Yeah. Also later.
And for a time, it was the biggest sport.
Yeah.
I think it was for 20 years. It was the biggest sport in the world. It was bigger than soccer.
Huh.
From the early 90s to the late 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although everybody claims that Dale Earnhardt, when he died, that killed the sport, it really didn't. It didn't peak. NASCAR's popularity didn't peak until 2004.
Ah.
So
it, in fact, did not die.
Well, whose turn is it? I've completely forgotten.
So shortly.
Oh, I haven't done one yet, but I mentioned a few things in Mike list.
Yeah, we'll get to you, Noah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say shortly afterwards, Al Capone was imprisoned for tax evasion. Actually, already in May 1932, and he was then serving until 1939, and then paroled and died from his syphilis and whatever.
Yes, that is true. I think, Blob, you have one more, right? 1941?
Oh, I think I did 3.
Okay, well, Doom Guy, go for it.
Already in 1941, U.S. aircraft carrier Lexington and 5 heavy cruisers leave Pearl Harbor.
Huh. How convenient.
Makes me think conveniently think of Lexington and Concord, but that's something else.
Oh, well, that's the start of the revolution, yes.
That's
Yeah. But no, how
That was
convenient.
anything.
Like, it was yesterday or the day
Yeah.
before, I believe, where the Japanese forces, that would, in a couple days from now, actually, we're going to be talking about Pearl Harbor. They left Japanese shores to go do that. And then just 2 days prior, one of our aircraft carriers left Pearl Harbor. How convenient. Almost as if we knew what was going to happen.
Well, I'm sure there were some people that knew something about.
Oh, of course. Now I'm just going to say, when it
especially
comes
because
to...
we're talking about the military.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to, our involvement in wars, we got into the First World War because of the Lusitania. We got into the Second World War because of Pearl Harbor. We got into the Spanish-American War because some ship in a dock or in a harbor got destroyed. The Spanish-American War. We got into Vietnam because of the Gulf of Tonkin incident. We got into Iraq for whatever reason because of 9/11. Every last...
it's always been a disaster or a terrorist attack.
Yeah, that, when you look at it, there are aspects and stuff of, either knowledge or straight up setting things up in order to, push the war agenda. Because the entire nation's history, about 300 some odd years, give or take, we've only been in peace for, 12 to 15 years, and that's non-consecutive. For the majority, 95% of the life of this nation, we've been at war with something. So...
Well, that's mostly because I think I mentioned this on the last one that I was on. It's because of the Chinese. We have to pay off our debts to the Chinese and other countries. But the only way we don't have to pay them is if we are at war. That's something we stipulated. I don't know, somewhere, some legislation.
And that would be a great conversation for the Kick Peanut, Mr. Noah. Why don't you, if you don't mind, put in that idea in TKP channel, please.
In January...
Yeah, I will.
In January 1941, America was warned at least the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. So, essentially, Japan sent its fleet and all of that. They had good reason to suspect that the attack was incoming.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, Mr. Doom, you have a 1946 here.
Alrighty. In 1946, U.S. President Harry Truman creates Committee on Civil Rights by Exec Order number 9808.
All right, Committee of Civil Rights. Let's look at this up real quick. It might be self-explanatory, but it says here, the President's Committee on Civil Rights was a U.S. presidential commission established by... Okay, the purpose is to investigate the status of civil rights in the country and propose measures to strengthen and protect them. I like that. Although it was disbanded in December of 1947, so I don't like that. We need that back. We need more civil rights in this country. So...
Yeah.
But then you got another one here, boxing title fight.
Oh yeah, okay. Was it George Foreman or
No.
no Muhammad Ali then?
Way before their time.
Yeah.
Before they even existed. Yeah, 1947, Joe Louis beats Jersey Joe Walcott in 15 for heavyweight boxing title.
So essentially, if you bet that Joe would win, you would be 100% right.
Yeah, I'm betting on Joe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to make fun of this guy, but look, Jersey Joe looks like he's taken one too many hits to the head. I mean, he has lumps, I don't know.
Headshots. Yeah, headshots.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes...
Jersey Joe's in another one, and now it is Noah's turn. 1949.
Wait, 2 boxing fights in a row? Okay.
Yeah.
1949, Ezra Charles defeats Jersey Joe Walcott for heavyweight boxing title.
Wow. So
Jersey Joe is the one on the right there.
Yeah, the guy with the.
He's on both of these actually.
Yeah, and he lost both of them. Yeah. That's weird. Like.
Yeah, he lost 2 really important title fights.
Yeah, 2 years apart. Huh.
But on the same exact day. That's weird.
That is weird.
Almost a little too weird.
Yeah. Then
you got foil hat.
I guess the 5th of December was not his lucky day.
Yeah.
Entered the tinfoil hats.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you see the next entry that is not highlighted, then it seems to have always been on this day.
Huh. Ezra Charles, 1950. That is interesting right there. Noah, do you want to read that one, the 1951, directly after what you just read?
Yeah, sure thing. Ezra Charles, 1950, KO's Nick Barone in 11, I guess that means minutes, for heavyweight boxing title. So
I think rounds.
Ezra seems pretty good boxer. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he was a good. Yeah, back in his time, he was a good boxer. 100%.
And that's 2 fights he won and 2 fights the other guy lost.
Yeah.
Hey, Xander, could you scroll like a smidge, like just barely, like just one? Yeah, right there.
The OCD talking, isn't it?
I don't know if the people who made that site have something against Jersey Joe, but his opponents are listed as boxer and world heavyweight champion, and Jersey Joe only is listed as world heavyweight boxing champion.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. Okay.
But he's not recognized to be a boxer.
But to answer your question, Noah, that Doom guy was trying to tell you 11, like what you just read, that means rounds.
Yeah.
So not minutes, so 11 rounds. But Doom guy, do you want to read that 1948?
I'm not a sports dude.
That is I don't know if that's the current record anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, or at the same time wouldn't be. Or I wouldn't be surprised if it still was or it still wasn't. I mean, either way, it's a record that can be broken.
Well, why don't you read the article so the viewers will understand what you're talking about?
In 1948, the New York Giant Charlie Connerly sets NFL record for 36 pass completions.
So let's see, NFL record for pass completions. Let's see, NFL.
I think it's still. Oh no, it is.
That's how many
game. In a game.
It's 43 times.
43.
Okay. So it is. So Mahomes did break it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the record better if it's a lower number?
No, record's better if it's a high. Well, depending on the record.
Yeah,
depending on the subject
in this
matter.
case. I mean, in this case.
Yes, a higher number is better. Yes.
Okay, I don't know anything about sports at all.
The better your passer rating is, the more completions you get.
I noticed that a lot of these different ones are about sports, and usually every day we do this.
The general rule with sports, the general rule of thumb with sports is you want to go for the highest number possible, except golf is weird. Golf, in the history of sports, is the most land with the smallest ball, and you want to get the least score. So everything about golf is backwards.
It's strange, I know. My dad and I used to play golf. Well, when my dad was, alive, like we played. I used to go on the putting green with him, and I would go on the driving range too. Yeah. There were a couple times I went around the golf course.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It told me that you want to be under par, which is the amount they expect you to do in the hole.
Yeah.
So you want to be as many points below that as you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it seems that the current pass completion record is held by Big Ben Roethlisberger, however you pronounce it.
Is that the 43-time one?
44 actually.
Oh, so it's been broken again, huh?
In a regulation game. And in a playoff game, it's even 47.
Okay.
I don't think
there's a historic event here surrounding Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
These are
Let's get back up on the history here. let's get back on the real here. Mr. Noah, do you want to read both of these 1955s, please?
Okay, yeah, these are both suffrage movement things.
Yes.
Okay. In 1955, a historic bus boycott begins in Montgomery, Alabama by Rosa Parks and other civil rights activists. So
Yes, because
I guess she was there.
Yeah, because remember the whole get to the back of the bus thing, and she said no.
Yeah. That's the analogy they use.
Well, no, it's not an analogy. No, it's not an analogy. That actually happened.
It's true. I know it happened, but it's like it became like this allegory for like, you know.
Well, yeah, for human rights for blacks. Yes.
It looks like these both happened on the same day and on the same year. So.
Yeah, everything we've been reading has happened on December 5th throughout all of time. So this is all things that happen on this date.
Yeah, but it looks like they're the same. They're the same year, is why I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the same exact time. Like while this was happening, that what you just read, this other thing that you're going to read here happened too.
Yeah, it happened because of that actually. So it looks like because of Rosa Parks' back of the bus thing, the historic event. It says Montgomery Improvement Association formed by Ralph Abernathy, Martin Luther King Jr., and Edgar Nixon to support the Montgomery bus protest in Montgomery, Alabama. That happened the same day. So
they do tie hand in hand, yes.
Yeah, hang on. Where's my cat? I just saw him.
Essentially, it's the same event.
More or less, yes.
Pretty much.
Yep. Anyway, I'm going to take us up 1 year later, 1956. Soviet artistic gymnast Larisa Latiina won the women's vault and tied for gold in the floor exercise section at the Melbourne Olympics. Later took the gold in total to 4 with teams with individual all-round titles.
There's a lot of really good people that are from Russia that are like really good at the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
at the Olympics.
Well, I mean, the Russian gymnasts. The reason why they were so good is because they were beaten by their coaches.
Is there a way I can browse the date on this thing instead of like browsing the?
It's the way that
date because I want to look at a specific date.
You can look at a specific date. Like at the very top, you can click on the calendar. You can search for.
It's sometime in December. It's in a few days.
Okay.
If you want a short explanation, then first of all, the Russian Empire or the Soviet Empire was huge. And second, it was because of the Civil War. They tried to be the top athlete in every sports. So they did pretty bad things. As we said, they bet their athletes and I can talk, but essentially also they used. I don't know if at that time, but later they did also use illegal substances like doping and
Yeah, definitely did.
Yeah. Anyway, 1956 as well, we have Thornton Wilder's Matchmaker premiered in New York City. Okay. And we got another historic event here in 1957. President Sukarno of Indonesia expelled all Dutch people. Huh. That's weird.
We talked a lot about this guy recently.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like him deporting all of the Dutch, and they're all like clogging onto the boat, like, oh, here we go again, like, with their wooden clogs. Did I just do a racism towards the Dutch? Like,
hey, so mean cultural stereotype.
So that was, by the way, just the same year as that assassination attempt that we talked about a week ago.
Oh, against Sukarno?
Yes.
All right. Well, that was my 3. Back to you, Blob, in 1958.
All right. In 1958, subscriber dialing.
Yeah, hang on.
No, I'm not going to read that abbreviation.
Yeah.
Is inaugurated in the UK by Queen Elizabeth II, and she speaks to the Lord Provost in a call from Bristol to Edinburgh.
Oh God!
So
why did they have to make that the acronym?
Queen Elizabeth spoke about STDs. That's interesting.
Damn!
No.
How dare she?
Hey! I have nothing to fear. She's dead. So,
exactly.
And she ain't gonna come haunt my. She ain't gonna come haunt my. Peasant ass. Like, she has better things to do, like annoy Charles. So, like,
Or
I hope
or
so.
that other one, Queen Victoria or whatever her name was. I think isn't that who it was?
Queen Victoria, like our Queen Victoria.
No. I mean the other one.
Oh,
one from
the first one.
the actual, like the real, like the one from the royal family, Queen Victoria, that mysteriously died.
Oh yeah. Not to mention what was it, Princess Diana?
Oh yeah, that's
yeah, the one that
I
she was
meant- yeah, that's
supposedly.
what I meant.
Yeah.
I meant Diana. Diana.
I was gonna say Queen
I
Victoria
was
was from like the 1700s or something.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, she was. Yeah, Queen Victoria from the 1700s was fucking crazy. She was insane. I think she's the one with like the mental health issues or something.
Queen Victoria. She was born May 24th, 1819, and died on January 22nd, 1901. So she wasn't from the 1700s; she was from the 1800s. Because 1700s was.
Isn't that why they called it Victorian England, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
And not to mention, she created the Victoria Cross. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got another one here in 1967. This is your second one, right? No, this is your third one.
Pediatrician Benjamin Spock and poet Allen Ginsberg arrested in New York while protesting against the Vietnam War.
Well, that makes sense. Someone named Spock, live long and prosper, against war. I agree.
Yeah.
Well.
Yes, and of course Ginsberg was part of the 1960s counterculture together with Jack Kerouac and others.
Now it says here he was a beat poet. Does that mean he was like a beatnik or something? One of those people, like while somebody's bongoing, like, what's a beat poet?
That's the beat generation of poets and writers, but I don't know what that is. So,
What is a
I
beat?
was thinking it'd be similar to a beat reporter, but I don't know.
Beat Generation. Okay, yeah. The Beat Generation was a literary movement started by a group of authors whose work explored and influenced American culture and politics in the post-war era. The bulk of their work was published and popularized by silent generationers in the 1950s. All right.
So it would be the beatnik thing.
and Benjamin Spock seems to be known for a book named Baby and Child Care.
Huh.
So I guess his pediatrician job, his occupation, is what made him famous.
Yeah. And when I think of beatniks, the first thing I think of is Doug Funny's sister. I think her name was Judy from Doug, the cartoon, back in the 90s on Nickelodeon.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Yes.
yeah, she had like a beret, like a French beret, and she always spoke in tongues, stuff like that. But anyway, Romiser, I believe it's your turn here if you're here.
I don't remember her name, but she was annoying.
Yeah.
What's up?
Romiser, it's your turn if you want. You got some sports history here in 1968.
Okie dokie. In 1968, future Hockey Hall of Fame center Phil Esposito of the Boston Bruins scores 2 goals in his goaltender brother Tony, also Hall of Fame, NHL debut for Montreal Canadiens. The Tutai.
That must have been a great game for that family. Brother versus brother. One brother scored 2 goals, and that was the 2 for his team.
Yeah.
And then they tied 2-2. So that's interesting.
The Esposito Bowl.
Yep.
Just like the minute.
Esposito.
You know what's funny? Speaking of brothers playing, do you want to know what the NFL does? Because knowing if there's like a pair of siblings on a team, they will play every season, even if they are teams that are not supposed to play each other every year. Say, like, for example, the Broncos and the Giants, they are not supposed to play each other ever. They're like, very rarely do they play.
Because they have brothers on both teams?
And that's the reason they play every season. They play each other. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because the Broncos do play the Giants quite often. Or they actually, in the past 20 years, they've been playing them quite a bit. And most of the reason is because of Peyton Manning.
So
because
I'm
of Peyton
confused.
and Eli Manning.
I'm confused. What are you saying? Like, if two brothers are on separate teams, those separate teams are not allowed to play each other. Is that what you're saying?
It's not that they end up the chances of them playing due to those two being siblings, and if they're like the big dogs, like they're big starters on their team, like huge names, like the Manning brothers or the Watt brothers, or even the Kelsey boys. Like there's in the NFL, there's a ton of families that are in they're big name families, like the ones that I mentioned, along with the Bosos, but we don't talk about the Bosos because they play for trash teams. But yeah, no, Peyton and Eli, you wouldn't think because it's an NFC team and an AFC team, usually they wouldn't play during the regular season, but they played, as far as I know, they played almost every season. And the same thing went with the Colts. When Peyton played for the Colts, it was the same thing. They played almost every season.
Interesting.
Yep.
Do you want to tell us about this album release here in '73?
Yeah, sure. In 1973, Apple Records releases Paul McCartney and Wings' album, The Band on the Run, in the United States. The commercial and critical pinnacle of his post-Beatle work tops the charts in 7 countries.
Dang.
That's good.
That's impressive.
That's really impressive.
And it's a better music than Despacito.
Yeah. I was wondering if anybody understood that reference.
I just read that one about the television finale. Yeah.
Proto really set the bar low. He said it's better than
Baggins? Wait, what?
Oh, no, because I made a Despacito reference. We were talking about your article, Phil Esposito, so that I said Espacito, and then that's, I believe, why Blob talked about Despacio.
I was going to say, saying better, you must be setting the bar pretty low, saying it's better than Despacito. I mean, meme-wise, maybe not. I'd be setting it pretty high, meme-wise.
Yeah. Well, I see that there's one in 1974 you might be interested in. You know, the first 74.
Yeah. In 1974, the first World Football League Bowl, the Birmingham Americans beat Florida.
Florida. Why is my name Florida? That's the name of a state!
Wait, is it actually his name? Hang on a second.
It is. No, it was a Family Guy skit. They were talking about, I think it's Family Ties.
Oh.
Like they did one of those like cutaway gags about Family Ties, and one of the characters, her name is Florida, and she starts having a meltdown because she's named after a state. So I don't know. Family Guy.
That's kind of ridiculous. You don't see that kind of shit on Family Guy.
Yeah.
I was born in Florida. Was I born in you too?
Oh God.
Like what?
No, I really was. I actually was born in Florida. I'm not kidding.
Well, that explains a lot of things, Florida man.
Oh, shut up. I live in Cali.
That explains a lot of things, Florida man.
How?
Unfortunately, our special guest today is Florida man.
Yeah. Florida man.
I'm
does
Florida
whatever
man,
a Florida man can.
I've always lived in Cali my whole life.
So have I, but I was born in Tennessee. So
read about him in the newspaper tomorrow.
Wait, Xander, are you in my county still, or
no?
Are you in my county?
No, I'm not.
I forgot where.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
In,
but anyway, Noah, it is your turn.
Do you want to be?
Noah, it is your turn in 1974, if you so wish.
Okay, and I was just saying, do you want to be in my county? Okay.
No.
Yeah, 1974, the final episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus was aired on BBC TV.
Dang.
So the British Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, British Broadcasting Company.
I actually never watched Monty Python before. I tried watching the Holy Grail movie, and it was funny. It was because it's so satirical, the whole thing.
Yeah, well, one of our movie nights a while ago, we saw The Holy Grail. It's a pretty good movie.
Wait, wasn't that when I saw it the first time? I saw it with you guys.
Probably. Were you?
Or was it in another server? I don't remember if I was here with it.
I'm invincible!
Well,
when was that? A few weeks?
I don't know, like a month or so ago. It's been a while. 2 months.
Yeah, that's where I was watching it with you guys. I remember.
Okay. Well, you got another one here in '78.
I also have an interesting.
I can read it.
The programming language Python was actually named after Monty Python.
Ah.
Didn't know that. That's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's a lot of
Python,
interesting
yeah.
facts that people bring to the table in these shows you do.
That's
Okay.
why I bring people.
I'll
to
do
the
this
table.
one because it's a sports thing again, and like I'm doing the sports ones today apparently.
Sports is everywhere, dude. Everybody gets them.
I know.
Everybody gets
Okay,
taste.
so 1978, free agent Pete Rose signs a 4-year, $32 million contract with Phillies, becoming highest paid baseball player.
Imagine if his contract was just $32. Like, what a slap in the face! Oh my god.
Yeah. No.
We're gonna pay you like.
Oh my God! Sports history. Get
Oh,
lost.
another one. Cricket of all things. Oh no.
Cricket. Okay, read it.
It is your turn. This is your third article.
Oh,
here.
oh, it's mine. I do 3. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do 3 of them. 1979, ex-World Series cricket combatants Greg Chappell, 124. What is? Oh, I don't know what that means. Can you tell
Score.
me? And Kim Hughes, 130. And oh, you're gonna have to tell me what these.
I don't
names
have a
are.
clue. I don't know anything about cricket. Nobody does. So like just go for it.
So it says they returned to rescue Australia on the last day of the first test v West Indies in Brisbane. I don't even know what. Can we look
Yeah.
that up? I don't know what that means.
We don't. My rule of thumb is if you read something sports related and at the end you feel like you've had a stroke, it's just cricket. So, yeah,
Also,
Okay.
yeah.
Kim Hughes looks a lot like William Shatner, I think.
A little bit. He looks more like.
William Shatner is 90 and he looks 50 something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, I can
Really?
explain some theories, but not on this show.
Pretty bizarre.
Yeah, but no, like this guy looks like what's his face from Top Gear, the old guy.
I don't remember. I never watched Top Gear.
Oh, Mark Hamill.
What?
Although I know people were making the bottom gear jokes.
Bottom Gear. No, Doom. You think you said the name? What's his name?
Mark Hamill.
No, not Hammond.
Well, there's 2 old guys in that, so it doesn't really narrow it down.
Well, no, the guy who always says that he's a genius.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about the American one or the British one?
The British one.
Yeah. Well, Hammond's the old guy. Hammond's the old guy of the main group.
Hammond.
And then there's Stig. And then there's just Stig. We don't even know who that is.
Hold on, Richard Hammond. No, it's not Richard Hammond. No, it's not Richard Hammond. It's the other guy.
The old guy.
Jeremy Clarkson is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like Jeremy Clarkson. He has the hair, at least.
He really does. He even has the wrinkles. It's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he doesn't have the wrinkles, but he
You
looks
ever
like
seen
a
the memes that they make with that show?
Yeah.
bottom gear. Yeah,
Bottom
like
gear,
I said.
Mike.
There was a Skyrim meme that they did about that.
Yeah, that's right. When they launched the car with the trebuchet and it hit the troll or it hit the giant.
No,
All I know is they turned Alduin into Thomas the Tank Engine in the beginning of the
Oh
video.
yeah. And didn't they
I
have
was
a?
gonna say,
Anyway,
Oh my god.
let's get back on
Amazing
track
what
here.
fun you can have with a
1979,
computer.
Ireland premiere. Jack Lynch resigned. All right. We got some more sports history here. 1984, the A's trade Ricky Henderson to the Yankees for Jay Howell and Jose Ringo. Huh.
It's amazing what fun you can have with a computer, though, isn't it, dude?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
turning a dragon into a choo-choo train.
Well, don't forget the Macho, like Rodney the Macho Man Savage, or I don't think I'm getting that name right. Like they had a
Adam Savage.
no, not Adam Savage, the Macho Man Savage. There's a mod for Skyrim that turned the dragon into Macho Man Savage.
I haven't seen all of the mods. I should probably look that one up. It would probably be really.
It's
funny
hilarious because every time the dragon breathed fire, he's just like, "Oh yeah!" It's like, boom, like fire
Doesn't
and
that
everything.
just remind you of the fucking Kool-Aid Man? Then
Yeah, kinda, I guess.
you gotta send it to me after.
All right. Gonna move on up here to 1987. Hey, that's the year I was born. David Boone's 5th Test cricket century, 143 versus New Zealand at Brisbane. All right.
See, I don't know what 143. How
I don't
What is
know
that?
either. Like, You know, nobody.
It looks like. I think it's the score. I'm not sure.
I have not met one person in my life who knew a thing about cricket in my life. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about cricket either, dude. I'm the majority.
The only thing about cricket I know is that there's a cricket wireless. That's about it. Like, so.
I know that crickets go chirp.
Yes.
Chirp, chirp.
And for some reason, we have a cricket toilet outside. Like, cricket come and they poop in this one section in my backyard. Like, and that's where they poop. Like, every week we see there's just a pile. Yeah, there's, you know, for years there's just like this one random pile of cricket poop, and like, you know, the gardeners come and sweep it away every week.
You know what's funny? We used to have a pet chinchilla, and this isn't super related, but like I had a pet chinchilla, and it was crazy how much they fucking go to the bathroom in one sitting. They just poop a bunch of small little bits, and then they do it like 100 of those, and then they go back to whatever they were doing. But we put them in the shower. And then we would close the door, and then they would just go to the bathroom in the shower, and we'd take them out, and we'd wash it down the drain. Funny.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to do the split here real quick.
The bathroom.
All right. Well, going from talking about how to help your chinchilla use the toilet, Mr. Blob, you got some sports history here in 1988.
So you did split?
So what?
Split is done?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Doom, we keep hearing you banging around or something. If you don't, thank you. Mr. Blob, go for it.
All right. In 1988, we had... Can you please not...
Yeah.
Thanks. In 1988, we have Boris Becker. He beats the defeating champion Ivan Lendl with 5-7, 7-6, 3-6, 6-2, 7-6. In a classic final to win his first of the 3 ATP Masters Grand Prix tennis titles at Madison Square Garden, New York City.
Dang. They played tennis at Madison Square Garden. That's interesting.
I actually used to live inside of a gated community that was inside of another gated community, and in that gated community, I was in the house that was like right in front of a tennis court. And so there was a tennis court on the inside of the neighborhood.
We talked about the match between those two players also recently on the show, another match. So we had a bit more background info about Boris Becker there. If you want, check it out. In 1988, the federal grand jury indicts the PTL club founder and Christian evangelist Jim Bakker for fraud after he paid hush money to cover up an alleged rape.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Good.
That went down quickly.
Politics ones always get me, but they should come as no surprise, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, look at him. He looks like a criminal. You know, like
He
kind of has the Joker face a little bit.
Nah, but they did say alleged rape, so yeah.
Yeah, he was accused of the rape of church secretary Jessica Hahn and of hushing it up with church money. He was investigated and found guilty of defrauding his viewers of millions of dollars in 1989 and was sentenced.
You're opening something.
I was doing something wrong, so don't worry.
Okay.
And yeah, so in 1989, for defrauding his viewers, he was sentenced to 8 years in a federal prison, serving nearly 5. So whatever happened there,
he got let out, or he escaped. I guess he got let out early.
Noah, let him finish talking, please.
Sure. Hang on.
Oh no! You wanted to say something about Jim?
I was just finishing a thought that I shouldn't have.
It's all right. Anyway, let's move on up here to 1990. Whose turn is it? Still your turn, right, Blob? This is your third?
Yes. In 1990, British Indian novelist Salman Rushdie appears in public for the first time in 2 years after Iran, the Republic, called for his assassination. And as you know, there was an assassination attempt on him recently, and he lost an eye and is still recovering from that.
So this is really recently. Oh wow, you're right. September.
I didn't know about that.
This call for an assassination, this religious call, it is called a fatwa. So they offered money for the assassination, and it still seems to be not rejected.
That's like a modern day bounty hunt.
It is. Well, I'm looking at it right here. Of this year, September. Wait, no. What was it? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August.
Yeah.
August. August is the 8th month, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's
on August 12th of this year, it says British author Salman Rushdie was attacked and repeatedly stabbed on stage prior to giving a lecture at Chautauqua Institution in Chautauqua, New York. So wow, this was just a couple months ago, or like 3 months ago, or something. That's
pretty
wild.
much, yeah, like 4 months. 4 months.
Yeah.
I thought everyone heard about
It's almost the 12th. It's the 5th.
Yeah.
I thought it was the biggest news story at the time, but
I didn't even know about that one.
I didn't
Weird.
either. So.
Okay, is it your turn, Ao, or is it?
No, it's Doom's turn now. Like we're going from like if you can see how I see, it's me on the far right, and then Proto Blob, and then Doom Guy, and then you. So I'm just going in a line here.
Okay.
so we go to less bad topics.
Yep. Mr. Doom Guy, if you're there, do you want to take the year 2000? Start your turn off. And it appears that there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. I'll take it. In 2000, 11th Billboard Music Award, Destiny's Child, Dixie Chicks, NSYNC, and Faith Hill, and they both won.
I'm surprised that they're calling them the Dixie Chicks right now because they recently renamed themselves to the Chicks. So, because
Well, they were called that then.
well, no, because this is a recent thing. The Dixie Chicks have renamed themselves to the Chicks because Dixie has correspondence to the Confederate States of America and racism. And,
I didn't even know that.
yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't
it's
have
all
even
part of
known
all
that.
this, madness that's going on.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Just propaganda.
I don't know if that's a thing in America also, but in Germany, portable toilets are named Dixie Klo, like Dixie toilets.
Huh. All right.
Also, Faith Hill, she's very well known for her song "This Kiss."
Oh yeah, this kiss. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of a different song, but let's move on up to 2001 here.
In 2001, Ocean's 11, directed by Steven Soderbergh. Yep, Steven Soderbergh. Starring George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Julia Roberts, premieres in Westwood, California.
Ah. Yeah, that's where Westwood Studios was. That made Command and Conquer and Red Alert, Tiberian Rising, and all that stuff. And then they were bought out by EA and then died. Just like Electronic Arts and... No, not Electronic Arts. Just like Maxis and countless other, IPs and whatnot. Everything EA touches dies.
Westwood is now the new sport of EA.
Yeah.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah. EA Sports, it's in the DLC.
As you all
Oh my God! It's in the Dilk. The Dilk.
My mother.
as you all know, the city of Westwood, California.
In the one container. What the hell?
As you all know, the city of Westwood, California, was named after the Westwood Studios, or
Yeah.
maybe the other way around. Nobody knows.
Yo, Doom, we keep hearing your clatter.
Sorry about that. Hang on. Okay. Alright. In 2002, The Two Towers, second Lord of the Rings, directed by Peter Jackson and starring Elijah Wood and Ian McKellen, premieres in New York.
All right. That's a
That's
good
a movie everybody needs to watch.
Yep.
So there was this cartoon, and they thought a live-action movie was impossible to make, but then they were proven wrong in 2001 and 2002 by the movie.
Also in 2000.
Lord of the Rings is great. I mean, Wedded Workshop does a great job on all the special effects for those movies and stuff.
Yep. I still have to
They
see
also
the.
did the special effects on Warcraft, I think.
I
and
still have to see
Avatar.
the animated movie of the Lord of the Rings, because they have smog and everything.
Oh.
They have everything in there. Like,
Dude, what I just said reminds me. Avatar: The Way of Water is coming out in like 7 days, like a week or
That's
something.
just a money grab, bro.
now
I
this
wouldn't
is
invest in that movie. It's just a money grab.
like 8 days. 8 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
James,
I kind of want to see if it's still good, but whatever.
Yeah, so that's the Avatar: Last Airbender, right? Not the blue people.
No,
Avatar.
the
Okay.
Way of
No,
Water
that
is
is-
Okay.
no,
That's the-
not that one, dude, not that one.
No, the blue people are the ripoff. They're literally the stolen property version of Avatar.
I mean, okay, but like it's the blue people one. It's the Na'vi.
It's a Na'vi
It's the-
one.
Anyway,
It's the racist
The
one.
blue people are called the Na'vi. They're called the Na'vi.
Oh, the giant Smurfs.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Avatars. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one that's getting a sequel in a few days.
Okay. That's also owned by Disney, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So.
I think Paramount Plus has the Avatar stuff, like the Last Airbender stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, my
You're better off buying.
Okay. Hold on. Let Blob talk here.
Yeah, my mother saw that cartoon, that Lord of the Rings cartoon in the 1980s, and apparently that should have been the first cartoon of the series, and they never finished the other ones.
I think I remember hearing about that. So.
They made one for the Hobbit as well.
Yeah. Well, let's move on up here. 2003. Noah, it's your turn.
All right. Wait, or should I say, all right? Giggity. No, never do that again.
No.
Ever, Noah. Okay. Like he would do, with his head. Okay.
We only leave it to
2003. This is 2003.
Yep.
Mexican singer I think it's Talia, the Queen of Latin Pop. Okay, is awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in LA, Los Angeles.
Yep. Doom, can you mute yourself while you're not talking, please? We keep hearing your background. I don't know what you're doing, but we keep hearing noises. So.
Also,
It shouldn't be.
I got two more. Oh, this one's about Audrey Hepburn in 2006. Apparently, she gave Audrey Hepburn's Givenchy little black dress from Givenchy dress. It's a little black Givenchy dress, I guess. From the film Breakfast at Tiffany's is auctioned for charity for a record of, I'm going to say this in pounds then dollars, 467,200 pounds and 923,187 US, I guess, dollars at Christie's London.
Yeah, so essentially
that's
the dress.
actually
Yes.
That's the dress she wore in that film. So
yeah, exactly. It's what she put on in the film.
There's a very famous song by Deep Blue Something where a pair of lovers has nothing in common anymore except that they love the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Did I read 3 or 2?
You read 2.
Three?
Like that's why I scrolled up really quick. I'm just counting. So
Okay.
I'm trying to keep a hand count.
They also mentioned that charities thing, or last word in that.
Well, it was auction, and the money went to charity. That's what it means.
Yeah, no, I mean Christie's. They mentioned Christie's earlier in the list.
Well, Christie's London is where the auction was held.
it was a different Christie's. I don't know.
You got
Greg
a third one here.
Mad Ducks. Yeah, okay. Greg Mad Ducks in 2006 signs a 1-year deal with the San Diego Padres worth $10 million. That's
pretty good. So.
Pretty small deal compared to the other one I read about, like 37 million. What was it?
Yeah, 36 million. But he was like,
It's a 1-year deal. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and he was also like a coach or something, or some high position, not just a player. I think. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
actually, let's double check that real quick. Where you remember what year it was?
37 million. I don't know what year it was, but. Was that the cricket? Was that the cricket thing, or I don't?
No, it wasn't. Well, we're not going to find it.
It was above. It was up, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna chase it.
You went too far.
I'm just gonna move on up here to 2008. Former NFL star O.J. Simpson was sentenced to 33 years in prison for kidnapping and armed robbery. Wow.
If the glove doesn't fit, you have to acquit. But
that was
another thing. That was murder. This is kidnapping and armed robbery.
That was big at the time.
That's what I said. This time the glove did fit.
Yeah, that's right.
Was big at the time when it happened.
Because I remember in my childhood, like the OJ was all over the news, and I'm just like, oh man, just leave him alone and stuff. I had no idea of the concept of murder at the time. Like I was a kid, Yeah.
So. I remember that being on TV, and like every station was covering both trials.
He was released in 2017, so
yeah.
He had a 10-year sentence.
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway, 2008 as well. Human remains previously found in 1991 were finally identified by Russian and U.S. scientists as those of Tsar Nicholas II. So
Wait. Isn't the Tsar Russian?
yes, it was. No,
Yeah,
remember the whole.
Okay, yeah, so they said Russian and
No,
American.
remember the whole thing about Anastasia and her family, during the the Great Red Revolution. They went in, they overthrew the Tsar. They killed the Tsar and all of his family and everything, and they just threw their remains to the wolves, and
They actually were terrorists, and they
I don't really remember that anymore. All I know is I learned it at some point.
the Bolsheviki.
The Bolsheviks
Music
and all that
history.
stuff.
Yeah, Lenin.
Lenin, Stalin, that group of terrorists that
Who was before Stalin? Was Mussolini Russian? I can't remember.
Mussolini was Italian. Benito Mussolini invented fascism. He was Italian. Lenin started the Soviet Union during the First World War to get Russia out of it. That's how his revolution works.
But it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Well, of course, it's communism.
It's still a pretty fascist country.
Yeah.
Fascist.
Well. Yeah, no, Lenin came before Stalin. Lenin actually didn't want Stalin in any position of power, and he put Stalin...
Yeah, I learned that. I know I learned Lenin was first.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on up here to 2017. Twitter revealed K-pop boy band behind the scenes were the most tweeted about celebrities in 2017. Alright. Well, okay. Whoop-de-doo. Then, going to Blob, it's your turn now, 2018.
All right, we have a National Day of Mourning for former U.S. President George Herbert Walker Bush as he lies in state at the Capitol Rotunda in Washington.
I think he died that year.
Yeah, he was dead. Lying in state means that he's he's in the coffin or something like that, and that's where they put when a president or any other very major public figure dies, they often have them put somewhere with this example, the Capitol Rotunda in Washington D.C. in the Capitol building. I've been there actually. They have them lying in state there for people to come and pay respects and everything. It's like a
Does
form
that mean
of a
it's
funeral.
an open casket?
No, I don't think an open casket, but I think they might have him in a glass casket, maybe. I know that they had Lenin in a glass casket and preserved and all that stuff in Russia.
Yes.
So,
mummification process.
And at the same day, a U.S. state funeral was held for former President George Herbert Walker Bush, with an eulogy by his son George Walker Bush, attended by the predecessors of President Donald Trump. Those were Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other living presidents.
Yeah. Well, do we know for sure George W. Bush's middle name is Walker?
I think that's what he's...
Actually, let's see. George... I can't click on his name here. So George W. Bush. You're right, George Walker Bush. You're right.
Oh, didn't know that.
I did not either.
I must have forgotten something else then.
I forget a lot of things.
Been a long time.
Yep. Hey, we're only human. We can't, we can't remember everything. This is why we write stuff down. So.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, what happened in 2019, Mr. Blob?
Yes, that was 1 year later. In 2019, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, announces articles of impeachment against U.S. President Donald Trump.
He got impeached twice and still didn't get impeached. It was kind of weird.
She announces the articles of impeachment will be drawn up for abuse of power.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is the last person to accuse people of abusing their power. Good Lord.
I don't like her. I really don't like her.
Nobody does. So.
I'm not just talking about her tearing a speech in half. That's not what I'm talking about.
Let's all collectively take a sigh of relief that she's stepping down. So.
Yeah, we talk.
Didn't she start a company or something now?
I don't know. I don't care. Okay. So.
Yeah, we talk.
Wicked Witness gone.
How she put people of a certain skin color in prison.
Yeah. Well, her and Kamala Harris. So. You know, all these people. Let's not forget, you know, Biden, you know, being behind the Jim Crow laws and all that
Kamala
stuff.
just treats everyone in the world that she's talking to like she's talking to a classroom of first graders.
Yeah. She has that air of superiority in her head. So, but...
Oh, I'm a white woman wearing a whatever dress.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let's not get into that here. So, anyway, there's one more here, 2021, for you, Mr. Blob.
All right. In 2021, the Kennedy Center Honors Ceremony is held for Joni Mitchell, Betty Midler, Berry Gordy, Lorne Michaels, and Justino Diaz, with President Biden attending in Washington, D.C.
All right.
So, I don't know what's the Kennedy Center Honors, but that's probably some music award.
Let's see here, Kennedy Center Honors Ceremony. Let me look this up here.
It's all very famous musicians.
Kennedy Center Honors provide recognition to living individuals who throughout their lifetimes have made significant contributions to U.S. culture. Pretty much. So not just musicians, but any artists, like, you know, there's Academy Awards here, there's Grammys here, so it's like, it's basically an awards for awards, essentially.
Wait, awards for awards? Is that what I heard?
Awards for awards. So basically, if you've been recognized, you know, culturally, be it music, you know, TV, actors, actress,
yeah.
you know, in any way, you know, like, you know, even like, you know, people like Rosa Parks, you know, and you know, Malcolm X and all that stuff, like anybody who's had a significant impact on the culture of the United States of America, this is their awards ceremony. So yeah, it seems like to me. Anyway, before we move on into bursts and deaths, was there any articles that grabbed anybody's attention more than most? So,
I had a few more, and Noah also posted a few more.
Yeah.
I did. I posted some in my list if you see. I pinged you.
In 1776, we had the first U.S. fraternity Phi Beta Kappa founded at the William Mary College.
All right.
And 100 years later, in 1876, a fire at Brooklyn Theater killed 295, trampled or burned to death.
Dang. That's frightening.
And Mr. Noah also had a few that he wanted to talk about, I think.
Well, Noah seems to be AFK. I just see an empty chair there, unless he learned the power of invisibility. But I'm going to ask the audience, anybody watching this video after the live stream, like, was there anything that you wish we'd elaborated more about? Was there anything that you would have liked to say something about? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Anyway, let's move on into bursts here. Actually, I can just click this. Actually, no, I can just do that. So, Mr. Rhombus, Doom Guy, if you're there, do you want to start us off in 1377? I don't think he's there. So
you have to take over, it seems.
All right. Actually, Noah's just now getting back, I'm seeing, so maybe he can...
Yeah, I'm just now getting back.
Yep.
All right. Noah, you want to tell us about the articles that gripped your interests?
Yep,
Yeah, I put a few of them in my list. Do you want me to ping you again?
No, you can just talk about them real quick.
There's like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I see.
So, on this day, Charles IX... Well, Charles IX became King of France. The 21st Amendment, we already covered that, was ratified.
Yeah.
And E.D. Nixon and Rosa Parks, we covered the famous birthdays may include Walt Disney. Oh, okay.
Well, we're just getting into bursts right now, so we'll probably be talking about these guys here.
Oh, okay. Well, in a minute, yeah, but I can skip the burst. December 5th also marks International Ninja Day and National Repeal Day. Never heard of those. They say international, but 2005's UK Civil Partnership Act of 2004 comes into force. UK Civil Partnership Act of 2004 came into... Oh, it's just more information about the same thing.
Yeah.
1977, Egypt breaks all relations with Arab countries. Egypt. 1936, establishment of the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic. 1936.
All right.
1933, end of prohibition. We covered that.
Christie's hold their first sale, which we also covered. Okay, so I covered already some of the ones that we already did. But
Yeah.
No, the first sale of Christie's in 1766. I think we did not cover that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I thought it was at the beginning. That's what I said. Christie's was there before. Hold on. I remember.
Well, anyway,
I remember something about Christie's.
Let's move on into births here. I'm going to start us off in 1377. We have Jiang Wen, was the second emperor of the Ming Empire from 1398 through 1402. Born in China, died in 1402, I believe, in office, most likely. Then we have Julius II, born on this date in 1443, was an Italian pope from 1500 through to 1513. He was also a patron of Michelangelo, Bramante, and Raphael, born in Albisola, Republic of Genoa, dying in 1513. So this guy knew two of the Ninja Turtles. That's interesting. Oh.
Ninja Turtles, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then, Blob, you get a good one here.
Yeah, I want to say as Emperor of China and Pope, it was pretty much normal. You were ruling until you died.
Yeah.
In 1862, Martin Van Buren, the 8th President of the United States, from 1837 to 41, he died. He was born in Kinderhook, New York, in 1782.
Yep.
And he died in 1862.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
We're at the birthdays. Yeah.
Yes.
He was born on this day in 1782.
Yep. You have another one here.
All right. We have. We have all the famous people today.
Yeah.
In 1839, the birthday of George Armstrong Custer, known from the Civil War, United States Army officer and cavalry commander in the American Civil War and the American Indian Wars, born in New Rumley, Ohio. And there's a very inappropriate game called Custer's Revenge. Don't check it out.
Huh.
Maybe on YouTube.
Yeah.
He died in 1876.
Yep. Custer's Last Stand.
Now you're making me curious about whatever.
So he only got like 36 or 37 years old.
Yeah. Let's see here. How old was he? He was 36. You got it.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, no! It's your turn. 1859.
Don't you want a nice tasty lamb chop? Okay. First Earl. I guess I don't know what first means.
Jellicoe?
Okay. First Earl Jellicoe. I think it's Jello. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm gonna butcher it anyway. British Admiral of the fleet in World War One. Battle of Jutland. Born in Southampton, England.
Ah.
And can you go down to the next one, or?
Yep. There you go.
Wait, my internet working?
Yeah, you were you lagged out a little bit there.
Okay, I was like wondering if what I said came through.
Kinda.
I said he was born in Southampton, England, but yeah. I don't know if you heard me.
It was a little jarbled, but we can hear you a little better now.
I don't know what happened. Hang on. Maybe I'm pulling on a wire. Okay. Józef Piłsudski. I butchered that one again. Father of the Second Polish Republic, who served as its chief of state from 1918 to 1922. Marshal of Poland, and later its de facto leader, 1926 to 1935, born in Zulu, the Russian Empire. I think it's Zulu. I think I said it wrong the first time.
I don't know.
But yeah, he seemed to be pretty important also.
Oh yeah.
A lot of important birthdays today's date.
Oh yeah. Then we also have, as you said earlier, Walt Disney, 1901.
Walt Disney.
He is a U.S. animator, Mickey Mouse, producer, and co-founder of Walt Disney Company, born in Chicago, Illinois. So.
But I didn't say Werner Heisenberg. That's a different one. That's people know.
Werner Heisenberg, 1901, as well, was a German physicist who discovered the uncertainty principle. Nobel, 1932, born in Würzburg, Germany. What is the uncertainty principle? Let me look this up real quick.
It's all over YouTube. There's a million videos about that.
In quantum mechanics, the uncertainty principle is any of a variety of mathematical inequalities asserting a fundamental limit to the accuracy with which the values for certain pairs of physical quantities of a particle, such as position, x in momentum, p, can be predicted from initial conditions.
So basically, I could explain that as how a qubit works, or Schrodinger's cat. If you know what any of those concepts are, it's like one qubit could be in many positions at once, like one item, like the box has dead or alive cat not in the box, because
that was Schrödinger.
Yeah, that was Schrodinger's cat. Yeah.
Yep.
But
I don't want to cover things I don't understand completely, though. But that's the basics of it.
If you want to know how important Heisenberg's work is, just this year the Nobel Prize was given to something that was based on his work, where locality was disproven.
It's also who Walter White named his character after.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. You know what? That makes sense. Yeah, because he was what was he? Like he was a
he was a chemistry teacher.
That's right.
He was a chemistry teacher.
Yeah.
He was a teacher before he broke bad. Yeah.
Yep. Before he broke bad. Mr.
Okay,
Bob,
I think
you got one here in 1902.
I think you have this.
But first, I would like to cover two older ones, if that's okay.
Go for it.
In 1872, Harry Nelson Pillsbury, American chess player, was born in Somerville, Massachusetts. He died in 1906. He was one of the strongest chess players of his time, and that was exactly 150 years ago.
Dang.
And in 1890, Fritz Lang, the Austrian-German-American filmmaker and screenwriter, best known for Metropolis, the dystopian science fiction movie. He was.
Oh, I love that movie. That's an anime.
He was born in Vienna, Austria, and died in 1976. And he also made that movie where.
Wait. Is it the one that's an anime?
No, it's not.
Okay.
He also made that movie, I think. Eine Stadt sucht ihren Mörder, or M, or something like that. It's a very famous movie from the 20s.
I have got to see Metropolis because that is a very, significant movie.
Not the anime, the other one.
No, not the anime. The actual
the one they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, because that was the way they built it. They actually made how the old times they built the miniatures, and everything. They had an entire miniature future city,
it was like a little set piece, yeah.
Actually, let's see.
It's like when they had in the 20s they had Godzilla and King Kong climbing up
Fritz Lang, Metropolis. Here we go. Let me show you. This. This was all miniatures.
Yeah.
But it was it's
toy sets.
There's a robot plugged in over here. There's somebody in some kind of medical tube.
Okay, I feel like the anime is just a recreation of this exact movie, but in an anime style.
Yes,
aesthetic.
that makes sense to me. But
it's like the robot is. It's basically the same.
Yeah. Well, this is basically a vision
based.
of the future. You can see, we have flying vehicles in the cities. We have, elevated railroad tracks and such. Going between buildings. This is all future city stuff. And this was made in what, the 20s or something? Yeah, 1927. Metropolis.
So the city is divided into two parts: one for the rich people and one for the poor people that are helped,
Yeah.
And they eventually lead a rebellion, and the movie is about that rebellion.
I have got to see this. It's been on my list. Friday's coming up, so maybe we can watch it on Friday. There's another movie somebody said that they want to see. So I forgot about that, but we are now doing double features every movie night. Now we're now watching two movies. So
that's great.
Yep. Anyway, Mr. Noah, your turn. 1902.
Are we doing one per person or three per person now?
No, in births and deaths we do 2 for 2. Because we don't know how many births and deaths there are in that day, and there is a lot less, ammo, so to speak, in that section versus the main body,
Okay, so I'll do these ones. From Thurmond, 1902 to 2003. U.S. Senator, I think he's a Democrat, South Carolina. Senator, okay. Born in Edgefield, South Carolina, and in 1903, Cecil Frank Powell died 1969. English physicist who discovered
pion, or pi meson, a subatomic particle Nobel Prize winner in 1950 for that, born in Tonbridge, England.
Huh.
I have to look up what a pi meson is now, or a pion. Oh, it's a peon, I think.
Pion. Let me look at this. Pion, in particle physics, a pion is any of 3 subatomic particles, whatever the hell, like a TTO, TT plus, and TT minus. I guess positive, negative, and neutral. Each pion consists of a quark and an antiquark, and is therefore a meson. Pions are the lightest mesons and, more generally, the lightest hadrons. I have no idea what any of that means, but I'm going to post a link to this wiki in the underbar for anybody who does want to understand a little bit more. So,
yeah, that's interesting. I think I learned about shit like this in high school, but it's been a long time. I never did college.
Yeah. We're going to move on up here to 1925. We have Anastasio Somoza Debayle, was the president of Nicaragua from 1967 through 72, as well as through 74 through 79. Born in Leon, Nicaragua. All right.
Yeah, so I think it's Anastasio, but I could be wrong.
Anastasio, yeah, that sounds more correct. So,
yeah,
you know, like we're not a professional show. You know, I don't care if people butcher words. You know, we're just doing this. You know, because it's fun.
I actually want to cover the one about the Ringling Brothers, because the circus was supposed to be. We had a circus in town a few weeks ago, in we're by the mall. So it wasn't the Ringling Brothers circus, but it was a circus. I never went to it, but it was like it was pretty expensive for tickets. But yeah. In 1925, Glenn Frosty Little, American circus clown, Ringling Brothers, 1968 to 91, an instructor for the Ringling Bros in Barnum and Bailey Clown College, 1980 to 1987, was born in Genoa, Nebraska. Oh, no, Genoa again. Okay.
Yeah.
Died December 2010, or died 2010.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So a clown, huh? There's actually a decent amount of famous clowns out there. There's like one Coco or something like. There's some clown who actually lied in state. You know, like George H.W. Bush. So, but I think it was somewhere else. But anyway, we also have Bummiable Adulayaja, born on the state in 1927.
I'm not going to butcher it.
Born on the state in 1927. He was the king of Thailand from 1946 to 2016. He was also a jazz saxophonist and composer, born in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So what?
Wait, he was born in Massachusetts and became the king of Thailand?
I know, right? What the hell? That's
okay. So, my friend is trying to get a hold of me. Can I take off early, or are you just going to be able to do the outro with that? We're going to be able to do the outro?
If you come back early enough, yeah. So
I probably won't be able to do that, but
we'll see you when we see you.
I've been Noah.
All right.
Bye. Bye, guys. Friend wants to talk to me.
Go.
Bye.
All right.
So about the King of Thailand, he ascended to the throne at the age of 18 in 1946 in mysterious circumstances after the death of his brother King Ananda Mahido in an accident.
That's fishy as hell. So.
And also, from what I remember, he was censoring videos on YouTube that insulted him. So.
That's not good.
He doesn't sound like a very good person, just saying.
Nope, not at all. So,
readers who are interested are invited to look further into it.
Yep. Oh, I see somebody posted another link here, so I'm going to put this in the underbar as well. Anyway, it's your turn here, 1932.
Alright, in 1932 we have one of the great singers. It is 1932, Little Richard, American singer-songwriter and rock and roll pioneer, Tutti Frutti, born in Macon, Georgia.
Yeah. Tutti Frutti on Rudy, Tutti Frutti on Rudy. So
he died in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. When did he die in 2020 though? May 9th. Okay, at the age of 87. Huh. Well, dang. You got another one here.
Another great singer who is still alive, his 76th birthday today, born in 1946, Spanish opera tenor José Carreras. He sang I Lombardi and as part of the Three Tenors, together with, I think, Dominguez and Pavarotti.
Pavarotti, really? Huh.
He was born in Barcelona.
I've heard of Pavarotti. He's one of the greats.
Yeah, his performance of Nessun Dorma from, I think, 1994 is very famous.
I'm gonna have to get more into opera. I mainly listen to Andrea Bocelli. He's really good.
Yeah, Luciano Pavarotti, Placido Domingo, and Jose Carreras, the three tenors.
All right. Then we have Lisa Marie, born on this date in 1968. She is a U.S. actress. Mars Attack, born in Brunswick, New Jersey. So she was in Mars Attacks. I wonder who she was. Lisa Marie, Mars Attacks. Let's see here. Marie, Mars Attacks. Who was she? Images. Oh, she was the big head. Okay. The alien. Alright. And then we also have Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1975, a British snooker player, 7-time world champion, 7-time Masters champion, and 7-time UK champion, 777. Look at this guy, he's consistent. Born in Wormsley, England. Huh.
But those titles don't even begin to describe how great he is.
I bet.
He's like the greatest snooker player of all time, probably.
I'm still unfamiliar with snooker. What is snooker?
Or at least of his generation. Oh, it's like
it's like pool. I see.
A lot more strategy on a bigger table.
All right. Huh. Anyway.
So he did the fastest perfect snooker game. Like it is called a maximum break, where you do 147 points. That's the maximum score without a foul, and he did it in 5 minutes and something. So
that's impressive.
And other very impressive.
Like I don't even know how impressive that is, but did something in 5 minutes. That sounds amazing. So I'm going to take this last one here because there's only one more article here in bursts. 1998, we have Conan Gray, U.S. singer-songwriter, Sunset Season and Super Ash, born in Lemon Grove, California. All right. And we're going to move on into deaths here. Blob, do you want to start us off here in 63 BC? And you were talking about earlier, before the show, something about the two BCs tying in.
Yes, and I somehow managed to close that tab, apparently, where I had the information up. We will look it up quickly again. But in 63 BC, Publius Cornelius Lentulus Sura, a Roman statesman, has died.
Did you post the link in the Mikeless channel?
Could be, but
I have it here. Publius Lentulus Sura.
The interesting thing is that today we started at 63 BC also with a talk given by Mr. Cicero.
Yeah.
And the Publius Cornelius Lentulus Sura, he was executed for leading a revolution, essentially, and Cicero was one of the people who supported him. Not in the plot, but in talking positively about him. So that had consequences. And
well, I see here he was also the stepfather of the future triumvir Mark Antony. So that's interesting, right there.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I found the wiki that you posted. I added that into the underbar just now.
Yeah, the event was called the Catilinarian Conspiracy, and as you might remember from what we read at the beginning of the show, the name of what Cicero read was the last of his Catiline orations. So
dang,
we heard that name before.
I just posted the Catilinarian Conspiracies wiki in the underbar as well, for anybody interested in that.
Catiline was apparently the leader of that attempted coup d'etat.
In Anyway, let's move on up here. You got one here in 1784.
All right. We have Phyllis Wheatley, American poet who was both the second published African American poet and first published African American woman. She died in Boston at only 31.
Dang. Wow, never heard of her, but that's impressive. So, the first.
So her book was called Poems on Various Subjects, Religious and Moral, published in 1773.
All right,
So
that's 11 years before her death. Interesting.
Yeah, she was only 20 at that time.
Dang. Man.
And among those who praised her work was a certain George Washington.
Ooh, nice. Interesting. And I took 3 at the end of birth, so why don't you take this next one here in 1791?
All right, and we have a famous Austrian, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Austrian musical prodigy and composer, The Marriage of Figaro, the Jupiter Symphony. He died at 35.
Wow, that's young.
He was a big wunderkind. I don't know if you know that term, a big prodigy. And the Mozartkugel, a very famous sweet treat, it is named after him.
Ah. Well, that is interesting. Anyway, 1870 here we have Alexandre Dumas, was a French author, The Three Musketeers, and The Count of Monte Cristo. Died at the age of 68. So I've heard of both of them, especially the Musketeers one. Everybody knows that one. So this is the author, huh? All right.
Yes.
And we also have Claude Monet, 1926, was a French impressionist painter. Water lilies, haystacks, and poplars. Died from lung cancer at the age of 86. That's unfortunate. But Monet, that's another big name right there. So.
And I heard an interesting story on the Tom Scott podcast about Claude Monet. He was playing the lottery twice, essentially. Once it was a draft lottery, and he was selected to be drafted into the military for 7 years. But after 1 year, he was thrown out because he got sick or something, or wounded. I don't remember. And later he won the actual lottery, 100,000, whatever it was, and then started painting.
That's incredible. Like, I did not know any of that. So yeah, he did win the lottery twice, so to speak. So
I also didn't know about it. I only heard about it a day or two ago.
And you got another one here in 65, I believe.
All right. We have Joseph Erlanger, however you pronounce it, American physiologist who won the Nobel Prize in 1944 for shock therapy, it seems. He died of heart disease at 91.
So this is the guy behind shock therapy. That's disgusting.
He was born in 1874, and
Yep.
it was actually for using a cathode ray oscilloscope to analyze the electrical reactions of nerve fibers, together with his colleague Herbert Gasser.
Huh.
So it seems that was another kind of shock therapy, not the one that we thought about.
I see that you posted a link here for Mozartkugel, so I'll post that in the underbar as well. Let's see here.
Yeah, we might want to look into this.
Yep. Then we have Robert Watson Watt, 1973, was a Scottish physicist and developer of the radar, radio detection and range, and radio direction finding in World War II. Died at the age of 81. So yeah, developer of radar. So that's interesting. Yeah, that was a very new technology back in that time. So, and who else do we have here? We have Peter Blake, died on this date in 2001. was a New Zealand yachtsman, Whitbread round the world race 1989 through 90s, U.S. Cup 1995 and 2000. Also a special envoy, United Nations Environmental Program, killed by pirates in the Amazon River at 53. Dang! Actually, I think I remember hearing about that. So, he was killed by pirates in the Amazon. That's wild. And right back to you, 2002.
Sure, but first I have read up a bit on Erlanger. A crater on the moon was named after him.
Oh, that's cool.
So in 2002 we have Rune Arledge, who was born in 1931. American sports broadcasting pioneer, president of ABC Sports and ABC News. He died of prostate cancer at 71, and he was doing Monday Night Football.
Huh.
I think he moderated that show, probably.
Probably.
Or he invented it.
Well, he was president of ABC Sports, which Monday Night Football apparently is one of them.
He created many programs still airing today, including Monday Night Football 2020 and ABC World News Tonight.
Wow.
Should probably be World News.
Mm-hmm.
In 2012, we have Brazilian architect Oscar Niemeyer. He was born in 1907 and he died from a respiratory. You say that word.
Respiratory. You got it right.
Infection at 104 years old.
Wow! He was up there.
Yeah.
Let's see what Brasilia looks like. Huh. Okay, like, Brasilia.
Isn't that the capital of Brazil? Oh no, that's Rio de Janeiro. No, I think Brasilia is the capital of Brazil.
Yeah, I see we have a UNESCO World Heritage Center here, but there's like a lot of... I just looked it up here, actually. What was his name? Oscar Niemeyer, architect. So let's see here. There's still Oscar Niemeyer. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so he's the architect behind all these buildings I'm looking at right here. That's a lot of cool stuff. So, wow, the water dome, and all this, a whole mall. It seems like these are all amazing buildings, bro. Like, look at all that. Wow, that's cool stuff. That's a church. Okay, that's what that is. All right, and then that's weird. It's like a wheelchair ramp from hell. So anyway, we're gonna move on up here to, We're gonna move on up here to 2013. We have Nelson Mandela, may he rest in peace, was the South African anti-apartheid activist, political prisoner from 1962 through 90, and president of South Africa from 1994 through 1999. Died of a lung infection at 95, and he is the catalyst of what we now know today as the Mandela effect. Because a lot of people would swear on their lives that he died in prison, but he did not. So,
the story I read about is that the government of South Africa spread the rumor that he died in prison, and they did that to have his movement die down.
Ah, that makes sense.
But then later, when he was released from prison, that didn't gain the media attention that the news about his death did. So. But other people remember him actually dying and having a funeral and such, so, it's very strange.
That is really interesting, and that shatters everything about the Mandela effect, because maybe you're right, maybe there was a funeral, but it was all staged, for the same reason as you said, to, stem his revolution, but it didn't work, so... But then, last but not least, we have Bob Dole. Died on this date in 2021, just last year, so it's been 1 year. He was a U.S. politician, a Senate Republican leader in 1985 through 96, and a presidential candidate in 1996. Died of lung cancer at the age of 98. Oh, dang. And Sorry?
I think the Mandela effect, not everything about that is disproven, because... interested viewers are invited to look at the Thinker statue and the Mandela effect surrounding that. That's one that convinced me.
Ah, all right. Well, that shall conclude the show for the day. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you might find interesting, and there are a lot in there today. Let me tell you what. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time, which is also 11 Mountain, 12 Central, and 1 p.m. Pacific time, respectively. It's also 7 at night in Germany, I believe, right?
Yes.
All right. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
And I'm Protoblock.
Yep, and earlier we had the Golden Loon, we had Doom Guy, we had Noah, of course, and there's one or two other people that I believe we've had on for a short period of time. I saw somebody was here once, maybe Bangerang, I don't know. But anyway, until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in the news, which is coming up at 2 p.m. Pacific time in a couple hours here, actually. Until you see us next time, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Toodles!